The 13th edition of the Indian Premier League begins in, very offbeat circumstances, if I might put it that way. Not because the tournament is being played overseas. It's happened twice earlier in 2009 and 2014. The first half of the tournament was played in UAE. In 2009, it was played in South Africa. But against the backdrop of this COVID-19 threat, which is looming all over the globe, these are excruciating circumstances, if one might say, if one might use that expression. And there's been, obviously there's some uncertainty, there's apprehension, I might say even some fear amongst the players, franchise owners, management, coaches, etc., etc., and certainly the Board of Control for Cricket in India, which has, managed to still salvage the season, so to speak. It's not being played in between March end and May as it usually is. It's being played between September and November. But, it took some doing. Finally, it's on the rails. So, let's look at what the prospects are. Now, obviously, one big thing which has happened is franchises chose players, picked up players in auctions, otherwise in trades, with the idea that the tournament would be played in India. So a lot of things could go a little, could be quirky for how the things pan out for some franchises, because they're going to play in a situation, in a country, on pitches which may be very different from what would be obtained in India. So some calculations can go haywire, some might hit the jackpot as it happens, just because they've got the team which could do well in the UAE, in Dubai, Abu Dhabi and Sharjah. The teams which I find, or I fancy, I certainly fancy Mumbai Indians. They're the reigning champions. They've been the most consistent performing team in the last 8-9 years, and they've got that belief of being champions. I think that's the big thing. In Rohit Sharma, they've got a fantastic captain and batsman, and perhaps a little short on spin strength, but nevertheless a very good team. Of course, they will miss Lasith Malinga, who would have excelled on the UAE pitches, which are being touted as would help slow bowlers, or would be slow in pace, and which helps guys bowlers who have got mastery over the slow delivery, who can cut and who can bowl cutters, not necessarily rely only on pace, the variations that Malinga brings. So Mumbai Indians certainly one for, I would pick as one of the teams, 4 teams that should make the cut to the semis. Chennai Super Kings. They've lost Suresh Raina and Harbhajan Singh for personal reasons. They've opted out, and yet they've got so much depth in spin bowling that it could come in really handy in the UAE pitches. Imran Tahir and they've just got so much wealth in the spin department, and then they've got loads of experience despite Raina and Harbhajan not being there. MS Dhoni, all eyes will be on him. He's just recently retired from international cricket. The setback of 2 senior pros not being there, will it affect him? How will it affect him? Will it bring out the best in him? We'll have to wait and see. Dwayne Bravo is there. So is Shane Watson, I think of the same age as Dhoni, probably nearing the end of his T20 career also, but a formidable player nonetheless, as batsmen certainly, and even as a bowler. So these are the 2 teams that certainly, and they're last year's finalists. The other team which I would pick is Sunrisers Hyderabad. They've been again a very consistently performing team. 2 great overseas players acquisitions in David Warner and Kane Williamson, and then they've got spinners Mohammad Nabi, Rashid Khan, which I think will be to their great advantage playing in the UAE. And of course then there is Bhuvneshwar Kumar, who's a very seasoned bowler and again got the skills to exploit these kind of pitches. That's my 3rd team. My 4th team, I'm going to pick Delhi Capitals. Now they've done a lot to try and make a winning combination. They've still got Shreyas Iyer as the captain, which is a good thing, though they've got Ravichandran Ashwin from Punjab Kings 11 and Ajinkya Rahane from Rajasthan Royals. So they picked. There's a good assembly of Indian cricketers in this format. They've got Kagiso Rabada, fantastic South African pace bowler. A little short on support for Rabada in the bowling department, but if his batting clicks, and of course Ashwin clicks, Ashwin will be desperate to prove a point to everybody, then this is a team to really watch out for, and coached by Ricky Ponting. So there's a lot of aggro already, I think, within the setup, and then you got players who these players who are looking to get ahead in their careers. So these are my 4 teams of the players who I think should make a big impact in this tournament. Pollard, he's coming off the back of a fantastic CPL season. His power hitting hasn't waned at all. In fact, if anything, he's got better. He's also got the bowling skills that could be very useful in the UAE, on the UAE pitches. So he's one player I would certainly think is worth keeping an eye out for. The other overseas player who I would be watching very closely, and I think he's the pick, is Ian Morgan. Now, he's not the captain in KKR. He's a batsman there, but he's got that explosive ability to, turn the match around on its head, and he'll be of great value to Dinesh Karthik in tactics and strategy, etc. So these are the 2 players who I think one should, or I would certainly keep a watch out for. KL Rahul, the captain of Kings 11 Punjab. We all know how wonderful a batsman he is, especially when he's opening the innings. But now he's got the burden of captaincy. Will it work for him or against him? I have a feeling it'll work for him. The only thing is he'll have to adjust very quickly to the pace of the pitches there in the UAE. So these are 3 players that I've counted. And then there is, I want to use this as a combo, which is Virat Kohli and AB de Villiers. The jugalbandi between them has taken RCB thus far, not further. Is this the season that is going to see them change things around? Will they win the title? We'll have to wait and see. But as a combo, the Virat Kohli, AB de Villiers Jodi or jugalbandi can be devastating. So that's, I'm using them as a unit, not singly, because we all know what kind of batsmen they are. So that's 4 of them. And then, of course, I'm going to keep a good watch out for Hardik Pandya. He's making a comeback after a long or prolonged spell in the wilderness because of injury. He's out to prove a point. I had a chance. I've seen him a bit here and there before they were left for the UAE. He's looking fit. He's looking hungry, and he's looking very eager. So these are my picks where players are concerned for the IPL. Not that I'm discounting Rohit Sharma, or MS Dhoni, or some of the other. I mean, there's a galaxy of great players who are there, Pat Cummins, etc., etc.